He does not look. He stalls the ball to right field and sends one all the way to the wall.
Shohei Ohtani just gave Angels fans one final reason to regret letting him walk out the door. Saturday night at Angels Stadium, he hit a ball so weird, so chaotic, and so perfectly placed that it sparked 5 minutes of pure confusion across the entire stadium. The play was historic, the ruling was controversial, and the hustle was completely elite. Real quick before the breakdown, drop a comment and tell me, did the umpires get this call right? Or should MLB have given Ohtani his first ever inside the park homer? I want to hear your takes.
Saca línea de gira derecho de entrada. Ahí viene anotándote Oscar. Ahí viene Rojas. Para tercera base va King. Ohtani suavecito el swing. Su segundo hit del día de hoy y 2 remolcadas más. 4-0 Dodgers.
Saturday night at Angels Stadium was already shaping up to be a fun one. The Dodgers were in town for the Freeway Series. Ohtani was back facing his old team, and the matchup had all the makings of a competitive evening. Then the bats showed up, and the competitive part of the night ended pretty fast. By the time the 8th inning rolled around, the Dodgers were running away with it on their way to a 15-2 blowout. That kind of scoreline usually means the energy in the building is dead. The starters get pulled, the crowd starts filing out, and the rest of the game becomes glorified spring training reps. Nobody told Shohei Ohtani that part, though, because he was about to turn the most lopsided inning of the game into the wildest play of the entire 2026 season so far.
Manoah's 0-1. Ohtani pulls it to the right field corner. It's a fair ball.
The setup was simple enough. Ohtani came up against Angels reliever Alek Manoah in the top of the 8th. Manoah, trying to navigate his way through what was already a brutal night for the Angels pitching staff, decided to throw Ohtani a changeup. That was the first mistake of the at-bat. The second mistake was throwing it in a spot where Ohtani could pull it. The bat speed was there, the swing was clean, and the baseball took off down the right field line at a speed that suggested somebody was about to have a very bad time tracking it down. That somebody ended up being Joe Adell. Adell, to his credit, hustled over to the corner because the ball looked like it was going to either land fair for an extra base hit or sail just foul. What happened next is where the entire night turned into a math problem the umpires had to solve in real time. The ball bounced off the warning track first. From there, it kept moving with enough force to ricochet directly into the protective netting that the Angels installed along the first base side for this 2026 season. The netting catches the ball spits right back out onto the field, and now we have what looks on television like total chaos. Adell saw the ball bounce off the netting and immediately threw his hands up in the universal sign of a ground rule double. He assumed the ball was dead. He assumed Ohtani was getting 2 bases and stopping at second. He stopped chasing. He let his body language tell the entire stadium that the play was over. That was Adell's mistake, because nobody had actually called the ball dead. The umpires were standing there, watching the whole thing unfold with their hands at their sides. The ball was still very much in play. Ohtani, on the other hand, did the opposite of stopping. He just kept running. He had no idea what the ruling was going to be.
You played here a lot of years. This was the first season they put the netting all the way down to the foul pole. Did you realize that when you hit it down there, it was going off the netting?
向こうまでネットを貼り付けたの今年なんですけども、それって知ってましたか？知らなかったですね。僕が行った頃はなかったので、はい。僕は当たったかどうか分かんなくて、とりあえず全力で走りましたけど、結果的に良かったんじゃないかなと思います。
Yeah, I didn't know about this netting. Since when I played here, there wasn't any netting, but I just
He had not played a regular season game at Angel Stadium since the Angels gave him a polite wave goodbye after his MVP season. And as he himself said after the game, the netting that caused all this was not even there back when he called the place home. So with zero idea about the ground rules and even less time to think about it, Ohtani made the only smart decision a player can make in that situation. Keep running until somebody tells you to stop.
Manoah's 0-1. Ohtani pulls it to the right field corner. It's a fair ball. Muncy is in. Ball gets the green light. Ohtani to third. And a 2-run triple. The ball.
He rounded second. The ball was still loose. Adell finally realized he should probably go pick it up. Ohtani touched third. The The relay throw came in to second baseman Oswald Peraza, who could not handle it cleanly, and the ball skipped past him into the infield. By the time anybody got control of the baseball, Ohtani was practically standing on home plate. He slid in, safe at home. 3 runs scored on the play. The Dodgers were now up 9-2. The stadium did not know what to do with itself. Half the crowd thought they had just watched the first inside-the-park home run of Shohei Ohtani's career. The other half thought it should be a ground rule double. Even Dave Roberts, watching from the dugout, said he was not totally sure what he had just seen. His exact words after the game were that he thought it was just a Little League home run, and it was good to see Ohtani hustle. That is your manager basically admitting he was reading the situation in real time, just like the rest of us were. The Angels challenged. This is where it gets even more interesting, because they did not actually challenge the part you would think. Angels manager Kurt Suzuki told reporters afterward that he was not challenging whether the ball was out of play due to the netting. He was actually checking for fan interference. The thought was that if a fan had touched the ball at any point during its bounce off the netting, that would have made it dead, sent Ohtani back to second base, and erased one of the 2 runs that scored on the play. So the replay booth pulled up the angles, the ruling came back, and the verdict was clean. No fan interference. Ball is live. Ball is in play. The run counts. Dodgers stay up 9-2. Crisis averted for Los Angeles. Headache continues for the Angels. The official score then had to make the second decision of the night. With the ball ruled live, was this an inside-the-park home run or something else? The decision came down on the side of triple plus error. Adele got charged with the error because his throw was the reason Ohtani made it home. The scorer's logic was reasonable enough. Even if Adele makes a clean throw and Peraza handles it, Ohtani still has a chance to score given his speed. But you cannot give him a home run if there was a defensive mistake on the relay. So instead of inside-the-park homer, history wrote it down as a Little League home run. Triple error. 3 RBI. A weird little asterisk in the box score. The rule itself is actually pretty clear if you read it. Angel Stadium's ground rules, newly established this year with the netting installed, state that a ball that strikes the front of the netting, even if it hits the camera, is live and in play unless it becomes stuck or otherwise unplayable. The netting along that part of the wall is considered part of the wall itself. The MLB rule supports this exact reading too. Any screen or protective netting set on the field facing a wall that rebounds the ball back onto the field, the ball stays live. Roberts confirmed afterward that he was not worried about the ruling getting overturned. He said the ground rule was clear to him, the play was clean, and he did not really understand what the Angels were even challenging in the first place. So the play stood, the run counted, and Ohtani technically did not get the inside-the-park home run he probably deserved. After the game, Ohtani made one of the more honest pre-quotes in baseball this year. He said, "I didn't know about this netting. When I played here, there wasn't any netting. I just kept running." That is peak Ohtani right there. He had no idea what the rule was, no idea where the ball had landed, and no idea whether his body would be back at second or back at home, depending on which way the call went. So he chose the only option that gives him a chance at every possible outcome, which is to run like nothing is in your way until somebody physically stops you. That is hustle. That is professionalism. That is exactly the kind of effort that fans love to see, especially in the 8th inning of a blowout, where most players would have settled for a stand-up double and called it a night. Now here is where the bigger picture matters, because this play is way more important than just a weird scoring decision. This was supposed to be Ohtani's first ever inside-the-park home run. In his entire Major League career, across all the historic stats and records and broken leaderboards, he has never once hit one. With his speed and his power, you would think he would have grabbed one already, but the timing has just never worked out. This was finally the night, and the rulebook took it away on a technicality. So as of today, Shohei Ohtani is still looking for his first official inside-the-park home run. He has time, though. He has the speed, he has the natural pull power, and he has plenty more games where weird stuff is going to happen. Just because he did not get one Saturday does not mean he never will. The rest of the night for Ohtani was just as productive as the Little League homer suggested. He finished the game 2 for 4 with 5 RBI, 2 runs scored, a double, a triple, and 2 walks. 5 RBI on a Saturday night against the team that gave up on him is exactly the type of revenge tour Dodgers fans signed up for. He drove in nearly half the team's runs in a 15-run output. The double was a clean piece of hitting, the triple was the chaos play, and the 2 walks suggest the Angels eventually figured out that pitching to him was a losing strategy. He was the engine of the entire